Hello, friend, and welcome back to Born to Create Soul Sessions. I'm so incredibly grateful you've chosen to open up this space and spend a piece of your day with me. If you're tuning in for the very first time, this podcast is the quiet heartbeat behind our art supplies. It is a dedicated sanctuary where we intentionally lay down our paintbrushes, our scissors, and our planners for just a few minutes to focus on the deep spiritual truths that inspire us to create. We're officially stepping into week 4, our final episode for this theme. Over the last few weeks, we've journeyed through the evening meadow, braved the deep twilight of the blue hour, and practiced finding evidence of God's grace in the unseen dark. But today, as we prepare to transition our hearts towards July, the landscape changes. We are stepping out of the cool evening shadows and into a space that many of us know all too well, the desert. Today, we are talking about the season of life that feels sun-baked, parched, and empty. We're asking ourselves a hard, honest question. How does trusting God change your perspective on a current dry season? If you've been feeling creatively blocked, spiritually exhausted, or just plain weary, pull up a chair. This session is for you. Our focus scripture for this grand finale is Jeremiah 17:7. It's a beautiful grounding promise that anchors us when the ground beneath our feet feels cracked and dry. Let's listen to these words closely. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in Him. Notice that this verse doesn't say, blessed is the one who never experiences a drought. It doesn't promise that we will completely avoid the scorching heat of difficult circumstances. Instead, it shifts our entire definition of what it means to be blessed. In our human nature, we tend to measure blessings by visible abundance, by the heavy rain, the overflowing cups, and the instant green grass. But God measures blessing by the placement of our roots. Trusting God in a dry season means transferring our confidence away from our shifting, unpredictable surroundings and placing it entirely in His unshakable character. It's a declaration that even when the landscape looks empty, the source remains full. As creators and artists, we actually experience these dry seasons all the time. You know exactly what it feels like to sit down at your desk and nothing happens. The ideas won't come, the colors feel muddy, and the creative well feels empty. Your immediate instinct might be to panic, to force the process, or to walk away entirely because you feel like you've lost your spark. But what if the drought isn't a sign that your creativity is dead? What if it's an invitation for hidden growth? In botany, when a tree goes through a period of drought, it stops spending its energy on producing outward fruit or flashy new leaves. Instead, it sends all of its energy downward. It forces its roots to stretch deeper, breaking through hard rocky soil to find the deep subterranean water sources that it would never have needed to look for during a rainy season. The drought makes the tree unshakable. If you're standing in a dry season right now, whether in your life, your faith, or your art, God is doing a deep underground work on you. He is challenging you to stop relying on the surface level comforts of good feelings and easy circumstances. He is inviting you to stretch your spiritual roots, digging deep into His Word, His presence, and His grace until you tap into the living water that never runs dry. Your current season isn't a dead end. It's the place where your foundation becomes unbreakable. As you spend time in your creative spaces this week, let's carry these truths right onto our pages. These verses will carry us through the upcoming week and all the way through next weekend as we gracefully prepare to transition into July. If you're working through either kit, there is an incredible lineup of daily readings designed to nourish your roots. On Tuesday, we build on our anchor with Jeremiah 17:8, reminding us that a tree planted by the water does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves remain green, and it has no worries in a year of drought. On Wednesday, we align our hearts with Psalm 1:3, declaring that we are like trees planted by streams of water, yielding fruit in season, whose leaves do not wither. Thursday brings us to Psalm 34:8, inviting our weary souls to taste and see that the Lord is good, finding refuge under His wings. On Friday, we rest in Isaiah 30:18, remembering that the Lord longs to be gracious to us, and He rises up to show us deep compassion. And as we hit the weekend on Saturday, Psalm 84:12 and Psalm 112:7 reinforce our steps, reminding us that the one who trusts in Him is truly blessed, keeping a steadfast heart, and has no fear of bad news. And finally, next Sunday, as we officially step into July, we will close this chapter with Micah 7:8. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light. And the timeless blessing of Numbers 6:25, praying that the Lord makes his face shine upon you and gives you peace. As you color fill your trackers this week, let every drop of paint represent water to your roots. With every verse you read, tell your soul, my leaves will not wither because my roots are in him. Before we close out today's soul session and wrap up this beautiful theme, here is your creative challenge for the week ahead. I want you to create a textured, deep-rooted mixed media page. Take some modeling paste, heavy gesso, or even strips of torn brown paper and build up a rich, heavily textured background at the bottom of your journal page to represent the deep soil. Draw or paint thick, sprawling roots breaking through that texture. Let the top of the page stay simple or even bare, but make the roots beneath the surface bold, strong, and beautiful. As you build those physical roots on your canvas, let it be a prophetic act for your spiritual life. Remind yourself that the most important part of your journey right now is the part no one else can see. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 4 and for walking through this incredible theme with me. It is an absolute honor to create alongside you. Next week, we're turning a fresh page and diving headfirst into our brand new theme for July. Until then, let your roots run deep, keep creating, and as always, keep chasing the light.